Hey, hope you're having a fantastic day and welcome to another wrap-up video. We have May wrap-ups this month. Let me just say, I did not read as much as I had planned to. I had only read 6 books this last month, and honestly, they were either hitters or missers, and it was, I'm not gonna say a terrible reading month, but it was just like literally like either it was a 6-star read or there was nothing. But really, it was more of like a miss month. Like there was a lot to talk about. I have a lot to unwrap and say my words about, because like there's some that I'm like but I did find a 6-star read. I will fully admit that I am so excited for that book. I will save that book for the absolute last because I like to get the bad news out of the way first, but I have so much to talk about. It's kind of overwhelming because I don't know why these all were like such misses, but it is what it is, right? First up, The Queen of Nothing. So this one is the ending of the trilogy of the Cruel Prince series. Yeah, that's what it's called, Cruel Prince. I really enjoyed the first 2 books in the series. Like, I really thought this was going to be, like, not necessarily like a 6-star, like, God tier series for me, but I really thought this was going to be, like, a really good, maybe 4.5-star reads, right? Like, they were, like, the first 2 book were great. Getting into the 3rd book, I'm like, what the hell happened? Like, I don't know how it occurred, but I was so upset. So this kind of follows the premise of our main character is a human, but her parents get offed by a fae, but that fae kind of adopts them and then takes them back to the fairy world, and this is set in modern day time, right? But our main character has a twin, and they grew up together in the fae land, and of course the fae are super cruel and ruthless, and they're just honestly awful to each other. Just quite a bit of magic to the systems, but humans have to like obviously be on the lookout because they can always get enchanted very easily. And so we're kind of just following like our main character around and how she has a huge ambition and things kind of occur, and she's kind of trying to vie for the crown in a certain way, form or the other. But there's the opposing, obviously the Cruel Prince, which is the first book. We kind of follow him because he's like absolutely evil, but like the plots and twists and turns were really great because you kind of thought you knew what was going on, but like you didn't really know what was going on. And I really enjoyed that aspect of it. Like that was fun. But like getting to the 3rd book, kind of like what's kind of going on, I promise this is not a spoiler, but for some reason or another, she ends up not being able to go back to Feyland as she's stuck on the human world for a little while. And the way that, like, the trick that was played and, like, played out as to why she was, like, kind of banished or put in the human realm was so, would I call it dumb? I guess I'd call it dumb. Like, I understand, like, why, like, it happened, but at the same time, just, like, seriously, like, that was the solution for all she had to do to go back to the Feyland. Like, that's... It was something that really pissed me off. And the thing was, too, about the 3rd book, it was so fast-paced. Like, the other 2 were pretty quick-paced, too, and I get that. But, like, I feel like we're just missing chunks of information in this last book. And I think that's what made me the most upset about this book, because, like, it had such promise. It really did. It really worked itself up to be, like, a really good jaw-dropping, like, oh, my gosh, how can she come back for this? How are we going to save the story? Who's going to live? Who's going to die? And it went to be, like, that's what you decided to do with it. Like, out of all of what just happened, that's what you chose to do? What? Like, it really fell apart for me, and I'm really upset about it. Obviously, I'm really upset about it. I think it had such promise. It had such good intentions, I feel, but it did not do it for me. And I know this is a really loved, very popular series, but it just did not hit for me. I really thought, like, again, the first 2 books, I was really thinking, like, okay, this is on par with Zodiac Academy, and I love Zodiac Academy, right? Like, that is, like, one of my God tier book series, right? And I really thought, oh, this is gonna be it. No, not it. Super disappointed. I just... what did I get? Maybe 2.5 stars if I had to give it a star rating, but honestly, I was so disappointed with it. I was like, what? Why did we do this to each other? Like, I like, we need to have a talk, me and this author, and like sit down and be like, why of all things did you think of this? And why would you do that? And it's not even the fact that, like, I was just upset with the way it went. It was just, like, I really feel like the writing went downhill. Again, the storyline just did not hit well at all. Things could have been better, and that's how I feel about it. That's how I feel about it. Let's move on. I need to move on from that book because I'm still upset about it. Yeah, let's go to this one. The Battle of the Bookshops by Poppy Alexander. I picked this up in the library a few weeks ago. I didn't think anything of it. I honestly had never heard about it. I just happened to see it in the library, and I was like, let's grab it. It seems cute. It seems fun. First of all, I didn't realize there's a large print, but do you see how big these words are? Like, I mean, I know large print is supposed to be bigger, but like the sizing is like astronomical. That kind of threw me off in this book, but like that's not the book's fault, right? It does say large print edition on it. Anyway, the premise of this book is our main character, her aunt is in peril, something's going on, and she ends up having to go back home because she has this like really popular like publishing job in London. Like she's like the creme de la creme, right? Well, she has to go home, help the aunt out, and in like for generations, this family has owned this bookstore, and for some reason, the aunt can no longer take care of it, but she ends up finding out like the bookstore's in debt, lots of things are happening. She needs to kind of like turn around the next couple of months, or like they're gonna lose this like family store, right? So things kind of follow along from there, but it's kind of like a Romeo and Juliet thing. Like the main guy who's like comes from lots of money, like these families have been like battling each other for like centuries, right? Like you don't talk to this other family. He ends up opening a bookstore literally right across the street, but it's like a new one, right? But like hers is like old, like antique-y, like really, really cool, that kind of things like that, versus his is like brand new, like Barnes & Noble type vibe. And I think love kind of ensues from there. I DNF'd this one. I couldn't get past the first 3 chapters. I tried 2 times because I thought maybe because there's another book that I had started after, like, or I started like that I did not like, then I started this like right after, thinking, okay, maybe it was just me, but I gave it a day, tried it again. I just could not connect with this writing style. It was very, I don't dislike retellings, right? Like Romeo and Juliet, like Beauty and the Beast, like it's fine, but I prefer more of a loose retelling, right? Like I don't like it being so literal, right? Like it's like pretty much copy and paste, but like modern day, and some like things changed, like, but that's pretty much what it was. It was almost like a copy and paste Romeo and Juliet romance, and I didn't like the starting. Like it literally just starts out like she's on her way home to go see her aunt, right? Like because she gets this message like, oh, there's something wrong with you and you have to get home. Okay, no problem. She gets home, and then like on the way there she like meets like the other guy that like she's been battling with for like years. You're not supposed to talk to the other family, you never want to be in debt with them, yada yada yada. It was so ridiculous, but not in a good way. Like it was so silly, but stupid silly, and I couldn't get past that. I really thought this was gonna be like a good read, but there's something about it like it didn't connect with me, and I did not enjoy it. All right, I've got Leo. He's here. Stop yelling at me now. Thank you. Anyway, but yeah, so I did not enjoy this. I couldn't get into it, so that's all I've got to say about this one, because I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it, okay? And I don't know that I suggest to anybody, but if Romeo and Juliet is your thing, then this is going to be your thing. But this was just not for me. It was too literal of a retelling. So, moving on. The next, let's get into... Do I want to do this one? Yeah, let's just do this one. The Night Ends with Fire. I don't even know where to start with this book. I don't know if I like this book or if I hate this book. Like I have such wild feelings about this book, and I mean that in such a intense, like I either hate it but I kind of like it, but it's also terrible. Pretty much the premise of this is it's kind of like a Mulan retelling, right? Like our main character, Mei Lin, she comes from a very prominent family, but her father has like gambled everything away. He's like super addicted to opium. So like they are like really far down on the totem pole now. But of course, everything that's happening, there's war impending, kind of coming into like the areas or whatever they're inland into the country, like a civil war. And so of course, the father is not going to go because he's hooked on opium. He thinks he's like above it all. And Mei Lin is about to get like sold off for money and get married to this terrible dude who like beats his servants and things like that. And so she's like, look, if I'm going to die either way, I'm going to die the way I want to die. And so she goes and joins the war. She poses as a man, of course, like in Mulan. And she says she's like just like the bastard son of like her father or whatever. So that's kind of where we're at. Like we going through the story. This is a finished duology. I will be reading the second one because I have so many questions, but let me kind of finish whatever is going on. In this world, there is like a bit of a fantasy element to it. There are these, are they pendants? I think they call them stamps, but they're kind of like pendants, and they have been imbued with like a spirit, right? So she kind of ends up picking up this like a dragon one, but then she's kind of battling against this phoenix one. So it's like water versus fire thing kind of going on. And it's interesting enough, but there's just so many things that happen in here that I'm like, what? What? But really, I think what I actually don't like the main character, Mei Lin. Like, I think she is so self-serving, and I mean that in like a terrible, like it's not like she's doing it for her own, or she's doing it only for herself, and she's like, screw everybody else. Like, everybody else could die just so I could survive and only get what I want. something about the mentality and the way it's done in this is not good. Like, I'm not enjoying it. I don't even know. But then I'm kind of following her along through the story, and it does, of course, it is revealed. Hold on here. Sorry, Leo would not settle down. I need to put him down. Anyway, we're following her along, and it is revealed that she is a woman, like halfway through this book, right? So like her commander ends up knowing, which is kind of like a kind of sort of love interest, but then she's also somehow indebted to like one of the other like guys that they're like civil warring against, like in the war, but then she kind of also has feelings for him. So it's a bit of a love triangle like situation, but like the way the book ends, like number one, I want to like rip out like all of my eyebrow hairs, like every single one, because I'm like, what? Like, it was not surprising, but like it kind of was like you could have expected it to happen, but like not expected it, if that makes any sense at all. Like you kind of like thought like maybe, but then it happened, you're like, okay. Because of course in this world, women are looked down upon like they are just breeding machines. They do absolutely nothing else. They have no original thoughts, like nothing. They're not respected. And so at the end, of course, she kind of gets ousted. She ends up kind of getting thrown in jail. Again, it's not really a spoiler. Like, it's not a happy ending. Okay, it's not. Yes and no, it's not a happy ending. But again, it leaves it open for book 2. And I just have so many questions. How in the heck does she get out of that situation? But also, like, there's still the question of like all these jade pendants and like the stamps or whatever, like that magic part. Like, I'm interested to see what kind of happens with that. But like, again, I really don't like our main character, but I like, funny enough, like the evil dude, kind of, sort of. But again, there's so many questions that I need answered. So again, I like this, but I don't like this. Maybe a 2.5 stars if I had to give it a rating. I don't know. I have so many mixed feelings about it, and I don't know. That's it. That is what it is. This is the night ends with fire. That's my review. That's all I gotta say. Let's move on, or else I'm gonna like continue talking about how much I don't know if I like it or I hate it. Okay, are we ready? Are we ready for this? I am so upset by this book. Like, I want to throw this book out the friggin' window. I will pluck every single one of my eyelashes out. Like, how upset I am with this book. Boudica by PC Cast. I really thought I was going to enjoy this book. I do enjoy historical fiction. I do like fantasy retellings. Like, I do enjoy all of that stuff. And I read PC Cast stuff before. I love her writing style. But this one really let me down. PC Cast is also the one who wrote the March series. It's that House of Night vampire type series. I believe it's what it's called. Yeah, that sounds right. But anyway, so like I've read her before. I've enjoyed her writing. But like going into this book, I wanted to rip literally every eyeball hair out. Like every eyelash, like every hair on my face, I was about to rip out. Like I wanted to throw this out the window. So this is like historical fiction with fantasy elements based on Queen Boudica. So Queen Boudica, if you didn't know, she's like a queen of the Iceni? I always feel like I'm saying it wrong. Queen of the Iceni. And it's during the Roman times, it's during the Roman occupation. And it's kind of like loose retelling of her gearing everybody up to go and fight these Romans and kind of like excavate them from Great Britain, right? Like that's kind of the thing. Because of course in Great Britain at this time frame, they're just small tribes, kind of like Nordic, Scottish inspired kind of vibes kind of going on. They're not like one unified UK. The Romans have come in and just kind of trampled them all and like are trying to get rid of all their values and things and like, you know the story, right? Like they're trying to take over everything. That's just what happens in history. But anyway, we kind of follow along Boudica. In this time frame, she just lost her husband like 3 months ago, and she and him were the king and queen of the Iceni. She has 2 daughters. Rome's kind of come along. They end up kind of really beating her up, and then they do some bad things to the daughters. She then curses like all the Romans that because they like destroyed most of their village and things like that. But she does end up like uniting everybody, her tribe and a few other tribes, and they do end up going and attacking 3 of the major Roman cities and trying to get rid of them. But okay, so we're following her along, okay? And here's the thing. I have no issues with LGBTQ and like reading that type of stuff. I don't necessarily go out of my way to read only those types of books. Like I don't care that they're in those books, but they're like not my favorite things to read, right? Like that's just my thing. They're just not my favorite. I like a plot. I don't necessarily need all like the extra romance details, right? In this book, what killed me for this, number one, it's a pretty slow build, right? It's pretty slow. It's interesting enough. Like the battle scenes are okay, but I like the fantastical elements are kind of interesting. Like it, all around, I know this is okay story, but I get like to the 3/4 of the way done, like 3/4 of the way done, legit. Like I was like right here, and I'm like, oh, maybe a little bit less than that. Like right here. And like that's where it literally all went downhill. Like again, it was going to be like an okay book and it just went so downhill. So Boudica at this point, okay, it's like a year or so in like past her husband's death. Wars come around. They're kind of like hunkering down for the winter, and they're gonna then once like the spring comes out, they're gonna go and like take care of the rest of the Romans, right? At this point, she takes a lover. Okay, things occur. Well, then literally out of nowhere, her childhood best friend and her are like just laying in bed, and then like they end up just like doing it, and I'm just like, what? And then she just immediately confesses her love, and you're like, what? What the heck just happened? Like, I don't care about any of that stuff. I don't care if you're gay. Like, it does not matter. But the way this was done, because it was never given any indication of like what like Boudica, like she seemed like really straight, and like it maybe hinted towards like the best friend that maybe she wasn't, maybe she was. Like we don't know. Again, why that was brought into the story, I don't understand, because I don't feel like it added anything to the story. I feel like it just confused me more. And then she still continues on with the dude and another. So it kind of becomes like a why choose. And I will say I do not like why choose. That is not my thing. I do not enjoy that. And so the fact that it kind of became that way, but she's like, but I love them both. And like, good for you, girl. But like, I don't like that. That's not what I enjoy reading. And I was not told anywhere in the beginning of this. Okay, it was not, because if I had known that, I would never have picked up this book, because that stuff bothers me. The why choose bothers me. Okay, if you're living in harmony, I don't care. I just don't want to read about that. But that's just kind of where we go along. And then as we follow along, at this final battle, like it's supposed to be like this big climax, like people are gonna die, and pretty much in real history, I promise, if you don't know the story of Boudica, I'm sorry, I'm going to kind of spoil this for you, but like this is just the real history, not even like what kind of story happens in the book, but like all of her people are pretty much killed and she ends up escaping, okay? That's just what happens in the real world. It's depicted kind of terribly, I feel like, in this storyline, but it just kind of comes out to be like, of course, she ends up, through certain means, she ends up being pregnant at the end, but then like, of course, everybody she pretty much knows has died. She and her 2 daughters and like one of her queen's guard have escaped, and things happen, and she's end up having this baby. She gets visited by the goddess, and then all of a sudden, like while she's having this child, her female lover ends up coming, somehow is alive and has just now appeared to like help her have this baby, and that's the end of the book. And I'm just like, you're left reeling, and you're like, why would you do that to me? Like it really just, like, again, it was going to be an okay go, but it just unraveled so much towards the end of this book, and it literally, again, made me want to rip out all my eyeball hairs. Like all my nose hair, like all of them, like every single hair. I want to be bald. It made me so upset because, like, again, it wasn't done well, and I don't know why. It was just kind of like we're just gonna throw that in there, and like, oh, okay. It just ended up being like honestly a really boring book, and then how baffled it made me at the end really upset me. And that's all I gotta say about it. I wouldn't even give this a star because I am so upset about it, and I just don't like it. Like, and I do enjoy historical fiction. The thing is, I love Boudica as a historical character, right? Like she was real. She's a real person. I know her story, and the fact that like I don't feel like she was represented well at all, and I think that's what bothers me the most. I feel like with the fantastical elements thrown in there, and like the way, like, again, maybe she was like a why choose girly. Like, I don't care, but like the way it was done in this was not done well at all, and that just upset me, obviously, to no degree. And I need to stop talking about this because I'm going to continue raging about this, and this has kept me up late at night like 2 or 3 times, and I need to put it down. Okay, let's go on to some happier tidings, because I need to talk about happier books in the last 2 books that I read. Okay, let's do that. Raiders of the Lost Heart. Now, this is a book that I did decently enjoy. Was it like the best book I've ever read in the world? No, but it was fun. It's a simple, cute romance, like Lara Croft, Tomb Raider vibes. It had like Indiana Jones vibes too. Like, it was fun. It was enjoyable. It was a simple romance. Like, was it the best written thing in the world? Absolutely not. But I enjoyed it. I would say easy, like 3.5 stars. So it follows our main character. She is some type of archaeologist, and she's kind of brought on by like her arch nemesis kind of guy, where it's kind of like a misinterpreted trope, like during grad school, like they were like beefing, right? He kind of requests her help for one of these like Mexican, some type of Mexican legend, and it's said to be like one of the like people that they're trying to find in this archaeological dig site is supposed to be one of her ancestors, and so she wants to prove that. So she's like immediately strong, and she's like, yep, let's go, I'm gonna help you find them. Love kind of ensues from there, and it's like it's an adventure, right? And it's cute. It's got really good details in it. It gives you like a little bit of history of like what they're trying to find, which, because I don't think like it's real what they're actually going to go for like in the real world, but like the way like the story is building up, I think is really, really fun. I enjoyed that part. And then, of course, they're going through this thing, and it ends up being like the benefactor who's like supplying everything, right? Ends up being like a really bad dude. And so things kind of ensue from there. Again, adventure, romance, you're down in Mexico. It's a fun read. It's pretty fast paced. I read this, I think, in like one evening. It was just fun. It was enjoyable. Again, maybe 3.5 stars. I have read this second book. I read this technically the second book first by accident, the other one. And I really enjoyed that one too. I think the first one is better than the second one, but it's still a really good series, and I would highly suggest that to anyone. If you're looking to like fun, silly, goofy, rude, I think this would be really good in the summer, because again, or like maybe like going towards fall, some marine type vibes, because again, it's like kind of summer because it's like set in Mexico and like archaeology, things like that, but like also it's like kind of spooky, but like not really spooky, if that makes any sense at all. Like the Mummy, 1999, the movie The Mummy vibes. So that was really fun. I enjoyed that one. I would highly suggest it. All right, are you ready for the last book? The Pièce de Résistance, my 6-star read, the beautiful culmination. I would fight to death for this book. If you say you don't like this book, we're gonna have beef. Like, it's gonna happen. The Tempest Blade by Daniel N. Jensen. This is the ending of the Bridge Kingdom series, and so good, like nail-bitingly good. It was chef's kiss, 6-star, god tier book. I absolutely love the Bridge Kingdom series. You can see it up here. I have a little bit of a shrine going on because I love it so much. I reread the books a couple of times, but this is finally the 6th and final book in the series. It just came out this year in April, and it is magnificent, absolutely magnificent. So in the Bridge Kingdom series, it does follow along. It's like a set of duologies per each, but the characters do overlap and the story overlaps. So you do have to read the duologies in order, but it does kind of wrap up each storyline, but it is kind of continued throughout the characters. So just kind of a little tidbit, you do need to read the rest of the series before you read this book, but it is worth every single penny. Anyway, in this duology, we follow Anna. Now, Anna is the princess of Ithaca. She and her brother Aaron is the main character? Yeah, the main character in the first duology with Laura. She is the twin sister to him, and she's kind of been running Ithaca since she was a kid, but when she was like a child, her parents had kind of sold off her marriage rights to Herendelia when like she was really young. So she's been betrothed to this like dude William for like a really long time, right? So fast forward, she's like 28 now. There's a big war that has happened from Bridge Kingdom, the original duology, and then like the Endless Wars. A lot has happened there. She's really bitter. She feels like she's failed her people in Ithaca. So she feels going and getting and marrying this like Herendelian prince, she believes that she's going to save her people. And so that's what she does. She kind of like goes in and calls, because Ithaca is basically broke at this point and like obviously war-ridden. But she is a badass girl, right? So she has lots of talent. She is like a war baddie. She can kill a man 1,000 different ways. She's a general in her own right. She knows how to run a country. Like she is like check, right? Like all of the things. She's really pretty. She's 6 foot tall, like all of the things, okay? So she ends up going over to Herendelia to marry this Prince William, but she ends up falling in love for the brother James, who is a bastard son of the king, and things kind of ensue from there. This is a really big twist of a story. I will say I was really unconvinced I liked Anna as a character in the first book of this duology, The Twisted Throne. Like I really didn't know how I'd feel like, because she was so stubborn, but like I understand her viewpoint going into like like the last one of the book. Oh my god, like it's so good. Because in Herendelia, women are not really like respected. It's very much like, oh, women are meant to sit there and knit and make babies. Like they're meant to do nothing else. Of course, she is a general. She's been running her country for years by her brother's side, and mostly by herself, honestly, because Aaron would go off and do things, right? So it's a really big deal for her to go there, and now she's kind of have to play this like political game when she's a general. She does not know how to play this political game. She knows war and war only. And things really just ensue from there. Like the twists and the turns in the series will always get you. Like you always think you know, or you like you have no idea what's going on. You really don't. You are like, I don't even know what I'm reading right now. And then you're like, it like boom, it all happens. You're like, what? Like literally, you will be sitting there screaming, crying, like, how did I not see this coming? But then again, I would have never paired a lot of like what happens in this series, and it's honestly incredible, and especially the culmination in this one, since it's the last book. She does bring in the all the other characters from the other books that really help Anna, and like in this big thing, it does pretty much become a huge world war, and Anna, by accident kind of starts. It's her fault, but like not her fault, you know what I mean? Like she's blamed for things that she did not do. But anyway, like that's just kind of where it culminates. And like the way they bring in the other families and like into this, and like again, because like everybody's kind of connected at this point to Anna, and I love that. It is such a beautiful story. I am a diehard girl for Anna now. Like, she and I you could talk bad about her, I'm going to beat you. Like, I love her as a character. I think she's incredible. I think her sacrifice for her country is astronomical. And when I grow up, I want to be Anna. Like, that's all I gotta say. I love her as a character. I love this storyline. I am so sad this book series is over. I will say the beginning of the series, the Bridge Kingdom series, not that it is poorly written, but it's definitely not as well written as this series. Like towards the end, because I think Danielle Jensen, I did read like the author's note. She's been writing the series like well over a decade pretty much, and so it's really interesting how her writing style has developed, and I think it's become so phenomenal. Like, it was really good before, but the plot line was definitely there. The writing wasn't great, but it was like getting there, and this one, like, you can definitely tell she's written a lot of words. She's really done her research. It's beautiful, and it's so easy to read, and I love it. I love the twists and turns. I love the character development. I love everything about this series. This is Die Hard series for me. Like, when I die, bury this series with me. It is so astronomically beautiful, and if you take nothing else from this video, read the Bridge Kingdom series. It is the best in the entire world. Please read it. I love this series, and I recommend it to anybody and everybody and anybody, there we go, who loves fantasy series. But that is it. Those are all the books I have this month. I feel like it was kind of a missed month, but like that 6-star read, like, I will never get this book series out of my head. I love this series. I'm gonna have to read what else she has. But anyway, I hope you guys had a wonderful time. Let me know what you read down in the comments, or if you've read any of these books too. If you like them or not, please let me know, because like sometimes my opinion is very weird, and especially like the DNF book. Like, would it be worth it if you have read this? Like, do you think like I should get back into it? Like, did I just not give it enough chance? I don't know. I'm not about second chances with some of these books. I got too many books on my TBR, okay? I just do. Anyway, I hope you had a wonderful time. I had a wonderful time yapping about all of these fun books. And not so fun books. But anyway, I will see you in the next one. Happy reading.